And a very good evening to everybody, and welcome to a KZN Top Business Master Discussion. And today we've got a hell of an interesting subject, and it's about the hearing pandemic that might be hitting us. And Dash is going to address us on that. But more essentially, it's about bone conduction hearing devices. So I'm just going to shoot around the panel so you can introduce yourselves, starting with Dash. Dash, we'll start with you. Singh, you're the man of the moment.
Evening. Firstly, Grant, thank you very, very much for the opportunity to introduce the topic to the country and, in fact, Africa at large. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. So, gentlemen, Chris,
yes,
give us a little intro.
Good evening. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris. I've been using the WeHear OX device for quite a while now. I use it for sport and all sorts of other things. So I've been working with Dash for quite a while on it, giving him feedback, things like that on how we use them, and found them very useful. Use them all the time.
All right, good. And the good old doc sitting there, waiting patiently.
Hi. Good evening, guys. I'm Dr. Patel. I'm a longtime friend of Dash, and he's asked me to actually put a medical perspective to bone conduction headphones, and I'm looking forward to see how this would pan out and the advantages it have for patients, not only in South Africa but worldwide.
All right, brilliant. So I think it's pretty well balanced. I mean, I met Dash. He pulled out these, put them on the table. I put them on, and he hasn't got them back yet. And I said to him, "You realize you're not leaving with these things?" And he didn't. And I haven't taken them off since. So my story we'll get to. But Dash, from that perspective of the hearing epidemic worldwide, just give us a little bit of background. You gave me a nice story. Just tell us the story of how you got involved with this whole project.
Grant, thanks again. So the World Health Organization released a report in 2021 called the World Report on Hearing. And the Director General of the World Health Organization actually mentioned that 1.5 billion people worldwide experience some degree of hearing loss. But what was scary was that he mentioned that another 1 billion people in the near future are going to be at risk. And in addition to that, 1.1 billion young people are at risk of permanent hearing loss. And it's mainly due to lifestyle listening habits, because the younger generation spend hours every day with earpods in their ears or conventional headphones covering their ears. And the World Report also outlines strategies for the member countries to integrate into the national health systems. So losing hearing ability is certainly a problem of a serious international scale. But sadly, it's not publicized, or it isn't properly given enough priority. In fact, unfortunately, hearing impairment is often referred to as the invisible disability. So an increasing number of people worldwide are gradually losing hearing ability, and they're unaware of it. And that's the major problem. So, I mean, so many people that I speak to, almost everybody I speak to at the moment, acknowledges that recently they've been just increasing the volume on their phones and TVs and radios a little bit more and a little bit more all the time, because we keep compensating for the problem rather than addressing it. So I think that's the opening salvo I think I'd like everybody to get to know, is that there is this big problem. It's just underlying, just beneath the surface, and most people aren't even aware of it. Thanks, Grant.
All right, brilliant. Just while we got the panel here, it's a wonderful introduction, but from a medical ear point of view perspective, Doc, maybe you can fill us in what the impact possibly this will have on the future of where we're going.
Oh, it's absolutely scary. I mean, it's something that, it's a silent evil that if I could put it that way, that we will only see years down the line as we all age and progress through life. I mean, from a ear anatomy point of view, it wasn't, our ears weren't designed to have anything to be stuck into it or over it with, in order to listen to amplified sounds. I think the whole process for bone conduction speakers is to prevent the ultimate disaster of noise-induced hearing loss, which we encounter in our occupational healthcare setting frequently, and that's without earpods or headphones. So the first goal would be obviously prevention of noise-induced hearing loss. The second goal, I think, would be to actually maintain the healthy auditory pathway of individuals that are naive that they could be losing their hearing. And as Des said earlier, and I mean, you guys are of athletic background, it's similar to having a shoe that you're running with for months or years, and you don't realize that inners are getting worn out, and it puts a stress. And until you put a new pair of shoe on and you realize how bad it's worn out. The similar system or principle will apply to a patient's hearing loss over the as you get older. And the whole intention of bone conduction is to circumvent the issue of conductive hearing loss in patients. Whether it's going to help patients or people with established noise-induced hearing loss, probably not, but definitely for people with conductive hearing loss. Now, things that cause conductive hearing loss are vast. We got congenital genetic problems, infections of outer ear, trauma to the ear, allergies that cause fluid buildup in the ear, foreign bodies, ruptured eardrums, and let's not all forget our pure natural process of aging, where every organ in our body does become slightly dysfunctional as we age, and one of the organs is the bones of the middle ear, which are very important in transmitting sounds for people to hear. And as Des rightly said earlier on, we increased the volumes slightly unknowingly because we are compensating for the loss that we've had over the years for one or more reasons. Thanks, Graham.
All right, great. Jack, that was quite a comprehensive summary. Dasha, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, the way we address the problem. So we must first understand two important dynamics about the challenge. Firstly, the problem won't go away by simply creating awareness. People, especially the younger generation, are not going to suddenly stop using technology and consuming audio because it's affecting their hearing. And secondly, we must realize that if any proposed solution isn't going to fit easily into our lifestyles, then it's not going to get mass adoption, and hence it won't solve the problem on a significant scale. So for those factors, I feel that bone conduction headphones are a great way to address the problem. And as you can see with the pair I've got on right now, the pair are not fitting into my ear and they're not fitting over my ear. They're fitting on the side of my cheekbone. It fits comfortably on the side of my cheekbone, and it's going to allow people to still enjoy their audio. I'm enjoying this session, hands-free, pain-free, without impacting lifestyles. And we can enjoy audio without impacting our lifestyle or greatly reducing, and it will greatly reduce the ear health challenge. So in fact, I think bone conduction headphones will improve lifestyle, and especially for the active people. And a marketing friend of mine coined the phrase true audio freedom. And I think that's really what WeHear is going to bring up, true audio freedom. So I feel the sooner we adopt bone conduction technology and roll it out, especially to our children, the better. I mean, I'd love to see every parent get their child a pair. Thanks.
All right. Doc, just getting back to what you said earlier, the medical point of view about this globally, what is their opinion?
Well, you see, from a bone conduction technology, it has been already in process for certain types of hearing loss, usually, conductive hearing loss, mixed hearing loss, as well as single-sided deafness as well. So it's already in existence. It's obviously a bit more invasive because it involves surgery and transmission. Obviously, an ENT specialist can, is more averse or more fair, I should say, with the procedure of installing these devices. Sometimes you may have occasionally seen a person walking around with a little circular apparatus attached to the scalp, and that is basically a bone conductor. So it's already in operation, and here we are talking about an external device which would be safe without any invasive procedures, and at the same time is also a preventative measure for basically for the world as well as for the kids in the future. So it's definitely already in the mechanism of action is already in place. All we are doing with bone conduction headphones is we're preventing patients from getting from point A to point B, where it becomes irreversible and we require surgery and intervention. So it's quite safe at the end of it.
Well, that's good. So I when I'm at Dash, I put these devices on my head. I haven't not used it. I've used it for my cell phone, my running, my Zoom calls. I'm using it now. So the obvious question, Dash, is that I've already said it, but how does it adapt to what we're doing in the world today?
I'm gonna explain to you why I want to introduce the WeHear brand to Africa at large.
Okay.
I've got a very simple ethos in business, and we get offered so many business opportunities, but I only get involved with opportunities that meet two key criteria. Firstly, the business and the people involved must gel with my soul. Secondly, it must add value to as many people as possible. And WeHear easily met both those criteria. So the major why for me is simple. I want to help address a growing ear health problem in Africa. And secondly, the WeHear brand and the team worldwide are awesome people to deal with. And so the synergy was automatic. Then on a more, if I can call it on a more product-related level, they've created, I decided to choose WeHear because they've created a Rolls-Royce product and have decided to truly differentiate this headphone from the rest. And together with its unique online app, WeHear is the world's first smart headphone. Hashtag world's first smart headphone. It has amazing features that place it well ahead of the pack. And so naturally, we wanted to be aligned with the brand that's innovating in that space. And we also want to be that company that brings the world's first smart headphone to Africa. Also important to mention, and I think this is becoming more and more important today, is that we don't want to be yet another company that floods Africa with cheap, low-quality products. There's plenty of those companies and their products around. We didn't want to go that way. And that's why we got involved.
All right, that's pretty much answers all the questions on that side. So the question for Chris down the bottom there is, as the sportsman, as the triathlete and all those things, how does it affect your life? And just add your 2 cents worth to that.
Yeah, I lost connection for a bit. I was glad it popped back up. Yeah, no, I'm a bit of a poster boy for the modern lifestyle. You know, I'll be sitting on my PC. You see my PC set up now. I've got two laptops with a screen in the middle. I'm working on this work while doing that, while, you know, having a look at this and everything. And then just going hands-free with the headset is just really enjoyable. I've got all sorts of other headphones sitting here, the little Bluetooth ones you stick in your ear and over-ear ones and all sorts. And much like you, Grants, from the time I picked these up, I've just kept on using them. They're comfortable. They last long. I listen to audiobooks. I listen on my phone, you know, like we're doing now with the Zoom. It's just, you know, the adapts much nicer. And you know, also with a poster boy for being ear damaged through sports and surfing and the odd party in the 80s and 90s, standing too close to the speaker, things like that. My hearing possibly isn't what it used to be, or my kids say it wasn't. And I've definitely noticed a difference in terms of not having to turn the volume up with these. You know, they're just much easier to use. And yeah, and just in general, and the other big thing for me is I'm aware of my surroundings. You know, if somebody's knocking at the door, I'm working on other things where I need my ears to be aware of something. Monkeys that come into the backyard or something like that if I'm working, or, you know, just in general, you know, while being productive. And, you know, it's just a huge asset, being able to have that while still getting information. So like I said, for the modern lifestyle, it's just about perfect to use. So I really enjoy them. You often find me walking around the house listening, going from one room to the other. Because of the Bluetooth, I can stay connected, so it's quite a bit of fun. Yeah, so yeah, definitely advantageous and better than the, you know, the overhears or other solutions. And trust me, you know, you'll know, being a sportsman as well, you've tried them all. So just nice to use, and then not damaging my ears anymore.
But Chris, like you, my earpods are gone. They've vanished. I don't even know where they are, because this has changed my life. So it really has. So thanks, Dash, for introducing these to my life, because I love what the doc says, because it says that I just love what it is. And I normally love bad things, but in this case, it's a good thing. That was the deal. When we were having coffee and you're introducing this, I said, we're going to do a discussion line. I said, we need to give a pair of these away. So the adverse being going out there, and that's the brand. We haven't been plugging the brand because the concept is just incredible. But WeHear OX is the brand. It's an incredible brand. And Dash, you haven't had a chance to sell it. So sell it for a sec before I take it away from you again.
Grant, you know what? If I can add feedback that we're getting, and I prefer it to be from the user themselves. If I can add feedback that we're getting, that we're seeing, it's fitting in so well into the daily life of people. So from the first batch of clients using WeHear in our country, it's very obvious that once people try them for a few days, the WeHear headphones become an integral part of their lifestyle. One parent bought a pair for her son who plays a hell of a lot of online games. And she saw the difference in him straight away after a long session of gaming. He wasn't as disorientated and all of that as having pods in his ears. And then another well-known businessman, local businessman, I won't mention him because everybody in Durban knows the guy well. He was on the way to the airport and he had forgotten his headphones at home. His WeHear at home. And he actually called one of his key staff members and made them drive out to the airport to bring his WeHear to him so that he could fly off to Cape Town for the meetings and be able to use them in the airport and be functional. But there's advantages that I'm now discovering that we hadn't even thought of. I mean, for example, a female client of ours says she feels so much safer now whilst walking on the street using her cell phone, because all she's going to do is click the button on the side, answer the call, and her cell phone is still in her pocket. Nobody can see her cell phone. She's not holding it. There's no risk. I hadn't even thought of that. You know, and so there's a multitude of new safety aspects and other aspects coming up as to why we should, as a society, transition to bone conduction headphones. You know, it's just working on so many levels. But yeah, I think it just complements our lifestyles in so many ways, Grant. Thanks.
Yeah, 100% on that. I can relate to that. I since I've been hooked on these, I get in my car and I dash out. And as I get down 500 meters down the road, I had to get this boop in my ear. And I said, I forgot my cell phone at home. So,
oh yeah, if I can interrupt there, guys, if you are more than 30 feet away from your phone and you got your headphones on, your headphones will remind you, it will beep, it will remind you that you've forgotten your phone. It's an amazing feature.
So old age, I'll tell you what, this helps me. I don't lose my cell phone. Sometimes I know it's close because I'm connected, but I still can't find it. But yeah, so I've got some questions coming through from Robert. Robert wants to know, is there any negative off spin? Okay. After hearing all this, I don't think so, Rob, but let Dash answer that.
You know, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna throw a curveball to Sunil and say, from a medical perspective, Sunil, is there anything that you can think of?
You know, the pros far outweigh the cons. I mean, you know, apart from, you know, the unusual feeling of getting used to it in terms of the fit, the positioning of it, so, you know, it's something new. It's a different way of using headphones. So, you know, you might get a bit of skin irritation. You know, it depends on, you know, the fit around your ear pinner. So those are small things. I think from a bone conduction point of view, because you're transmitting sound directly to the inner ear, and you're bypassing the external ear, the eardrum, the middle ear, and it's going directly to the cochlea, which is basically your hearing center in your ear. It gets directly into now. The inner ear is divided into two portions. One is for balancing and equilibrium, and the other one is for hearing. Now, the position of the inner ear is controlled by an oval window, what I usually tell my patients, the inner eardrum. So when that vibrates, you know, with the bone conduction, what happens is that both systems get activated, meaning your equilibrium system as well as your hearing system. And because both have a similar mechanism of action, some patients sometimes might feel a bit of vertigo or lack, you know, balance. But I mean, that sort of a thing, it's such a rare side effect because our bodies have the natural capability to adjust to that. From a cochlear point of view, because you've got low electromagnetic transmission, we don't have a problem there. There's no damage to the auditory nerve or to the mechanism or the anatomy of the cochlea. So not really. I think the only thing that would be is the change of behavior of people that use headphones, for the simple reason is that when all of us have used earpods, headphones, listening to music in clarity, high volumes, going to the disco, as Chris said early on when we were younger. So we're used to a certain frequency and a certain enjoyment that we have. And these headphones are not designed to be used for those type of scenarios. So sometimes you would find that, you know, people would misuse it by amplifying the sound to an extent that they want the same enjoyment that they would get from an earpod or a headphone, I mean a headset, which you're not going to get. And so it's more, you know, one would have problems if you're going to really, you know, amp it up to get the same sounds that you would have as if you're in a disco or, you know, you listen to music while you're running, jogging, or playing golf for that matter. You know, it's more because of misuse, but not because of product danger. So I think from that point of view, it's fairly safe product.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
glad he spoke first,
Yeah.
because I could never have explained all of that, by the way. But for me, I've known that there were only two what I call minor disadvantages. And the first that I foresaw was that if one has the volume set too high, and if we're expecting these massive volumes in your ear, then bone conduction technology isn't the thing for you, because it would impact your ear. And then secondly, like with anything, whether you're getting used to wearing a pair of glasses or you're getting used to anything new, just getting used to wearing them, and the minute you've accustomed to them, that's it. But both of those, as Sunil alluded to earlier, it's more an issue caused by user habit rather than the fault of the actual bone conduction technology.
Dash, if I can just come in there quickly. I think the other thing we must remember, and it's along the lines of how we damage our ears, anything that's too loud in our ears, and you know, you talk about turning up the volume and things like that, we could be damaging our ears by putting things in them and turning the volume up too high, and we don't even realize it. And you can't do that with this device. You know, you can turn it right up, but the worst that happens is it gets a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't damage anything, doesn't damage your ear, because it's not, you know, there, you know, so it's not, you can turn the volume up, but it's not gonna hurt you, where that's not true with normal earphones. If you put normal earphones and you crank the volume, you do that for long enough, you're gonna damage your ears. You're gonna cause some real damage. At least it's better, like Doc says, the you know, the slight discomfort. For me, it's that you can't damage. You know, you can wear these and not damage your ears, even though you have it, you know, too loud, which is nice.
Sorry, Chris, so just on that point, you know, when we talk about nerve damage, you know, in the medical field, we look at it as a figure of 85 decibels. So just to put it commonly or easy to understand, you know, 85 decibels is a point where you have to literally shout at the person next to you to actually hear you. So when you're using headphones and earpods, you are definitely, you know, reaching that level of decibel level, which is obviously, like, you know, quite a dangerous level. So to give you an idea, I mean, if a person is using or exposed to 85 decibels for a period of let's say 6 to 8 hours intermittently, not even continuously, it takes 16 hours of quietness to regenerate the capability of your auditory nerve to come back to its normal level. And therefore you find that what happens is that the guys listen to, you know, extreme sounds, and before the nerve has recovered, they are hitting it back with the earpods and the headphones. So you are actually, I would say, numbing the auditory nerve, and eventually that's what leads to hearing loss, you know, permanently.
There's a question here from Baresh, and it's kind of covered, we haven't covered it, and they're asking the full range of human hearing frequencies on with this. How does that, maybe Dash, you know more about it, but that whole hearing experience, how close is it to what we want?
I think you're going to hear every single frequency that you need to hear, because you are passing the sound into your inner ear. So you're not going to miss out any of the frequencies, I think, but it just won't be bombarding the ear. Sunil will be able to explain better than me, but you're passing it to your auditory nerve, and it's the auditory nerve that's actually processing the sound. So you are sending the sound straight through to your auditory nerve, but you bypassing the inner ear, so you're not causing any of the damage there. So I think you're certainly going to enjoy all the frequencies that you need to enjoy, but I could be missing out from, you know, something on the medical side there.
Yeah, I think what the frequencies is not the issue. You will hear all the frequencies because if you picture your cochlea as a harp with small strings on one end and expanding to the bigger end, the higher frequencies are captured by the smaller strings in your hearing mechanism, and the lower frequencies by the longer strings in your mechanism. So you will not miss any frequencies. You know, with the bone conduction, it does cause vibrational influence for the hearing mechanism in the middle ear. So, you know, your middle ear has got three little bones, and they vibrate, and then they stimulate the oval window, or the inner eardrum, as I call it, to actually, you know, stimulate the hearing mechanism. So yes, you would not lose anything. I think a lot of people might find that it's just about the clarity in terms of the high clarity sounds that, you know, we are used to with earpods and headphones, and these are not designed for that type of scenario. Once again, it's more for prevention of hearing loss, you know, in the future. So you will not miss any frequencies. And even so, you must remember they are sitting outside your ear. So you're still getting external sounds that are, you know, vibrating through your eardrum. So you actually got a dual mechanism of hearing. One is through air conduction, and the other one is through bone conduction. The air conduction actually gives you the opportunity to actually, you know, be aware of your surroundings as you speak. You know, while you're running, someone hoots at you, you can hear it. How did you hear it? Not through your headphones, but through your normal auditory mechanism. So frequency is not an issue on any level.
Thanks.
I think that's pretty comprehensive, and
No,
I can back that up. Chris, you want to put in something there?
Yeah.
I saw you.
No,
I
I
saw
just
you
want to say,
nodding.
I think pretty much the same. I haven't noticed any major difference, and I've listened to all sorts of music and podcasts and audiobooks, and you know, there's nothing remotely noticeable from earpods or, you know, to these. You know, there's nothing that you miss out on. Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're brilliant because, you know, they say us men, we can't multitask. This does it for us, eh? Because, I mean, I was on holiday in the Berg. I had these on. I was cycling up, training for the Maluti. Somebody phoned me, and eventually they said, you sound a bit out of breath. And I said, yeah, I am. I'm climbing. They couldn't believe the clarity, and I could understand everything. And as soon as I didn't want to hit them, I touched a little button, and I went back to Jethro Tull, you know? So I had Jethro, and I could block her off, put her in. It was absolutely amazing. So I'm glad to hear that from a medical point of view, there are no real hiccups, and I don't think there are. And quite frankly, it doesn't affect me in any way. The only negative I ever heard from anybody was that slight vibration that you get on here, which doesn't affect me at all. And anybody that I've spoken to, it doesn't. One person said, oh, no, I don't use it because of that. But they're missing out because they were having earpods and they couldn't hear the traffic. So other than that, I've got another question here. Can I move on to another question?
Yeah, sure.
This is more something to do with the cost implications of the device, from Robert, once again. And also, where do we get this from? Dash.
What's the question?
The question is the price. The price of the device.
The pricing. Okay, sure.
And then where do you obtain it? Where do you get it from?
Okay, so we are retailing these at 2,500 Rand a set. Now, I got asked a question about how do we price these? And our international parent company, the head of that company answered the question so interestingly. He said, what or how do you price your ear health? What value do you place to your ear health? So we've decided to price them quite competitively at 2,500 Rand. Now, if you look at one of the higher end brands earpods, I won't mention the brand obviously, but they're selling for over 4,000 Rand a set. Yes, there are cheaper ones, but we've priced them very competitively at 2,500 Rand. But if I had to explain the full spectrum of the product, and I mean, you know, it would just blow you away at exactly what are you getting for 2,500 Rand. You're getting a lifestyle device that's going to change your lifestyle. It's going to give you hands-free connectivity, whether you're cycling, running, working, absolutely anything. You're walking on the street, absolutely anything like that. But take away the danger of losing hearing. I mean, that I think is priceless. So to answer the question quickly,
you gotta mention
our intro price, sorry, Chris, I'll be with you just now. Our intro price was 2,500 Rand. And you just go to the website, that's WeHear.co.za, and you can purchase them straight off the website. That's WeHear, WeHear.co.za, and you can purchase them there. And then Grant has twisted my arm. So for today's session, because he's arranged it and convened today's session, we're giving 100 Rand off. There's a promo code that you can use, and the promo code is Grant Adlam, so that's GA100. So you get 100 Rand off. When you're at the checkout, just type in the promo code GA100 and you get 100 Rand off, and that's only available from now for the next 48 hours. Anybody want to say thank you? You say thanks to Grant for that one. You were going to say, Chris?
You haven't even mentioned the app yet, Dash.
Yes, you haven't.
Oh, well, you know what? I got asked something earlier, just before this, by another friend in Johannesburg, and he asked, so why should I buy WeHear? And with your permission, I'm going to answer that here, right? And I said, it's quite a simple decision. And all that the person needs to ask themselves is one question. Do I want the world's first smart headphone with superior build quality, or am I going to settle for something lesser? Simple as that. And so when you think of headphones, WeHear will become that must-have aspirational brand that people will aspire to buy rather than settling for something else. And I mean, I love cars, and so I equated it to a Rolls-Royce. It is the Rolls-Royce of headphones, but it's not priced at Rolls-Royce kind of prices. So, you know, we've been working on a pitch about the smart headphone, and it's a truly smart decision for several reasons. Firstly, it's smart because you are valuing your ear health. Secondly, it's smart for the safety reasons that we were discussing. Thirdly, it's smart because it's the first headphone with a multi-dimensional app linked to it. Fourthly, it's the first headphone with a 72 language live translation feature. I mean, Grant, everybody I've shown that to has been blown away with it. It just completely eliminates the language barrier when we're dealing with international clients or with anybody who doesn't speak your language. It's got 72 of the world's major languages, and you can chat with the person live. And then the ergonomic design, it just won't fall off. I mean, you can shake your head. They sent me a video of people doing yoga and turning upside down, and their headphones are still on. And then the smart decision for your busy professional person. You become more productive with dual connectivity. I'm on my laptop, I'm listening to something, somebody calls me, I just click the button, answer the call, it holds my music. Immediately after the music, I just click the button, it goes back. And, you know, it's so easy. I can walk around the room. I leave my phone in one room in the house, and I'm all over the house or the office. And then there's a host of other smart, innovative features that just absolutely differentiate WeHear from all the other headphones. But I could go on forever, but you know what? Just go visit the website, wehear.co.za, check out the features. Feel free to contact us if you have any other queries. I would love to answer them, because we really want everybody, we want as many people to benefit from this as possible.
Yeah. And just getting to that app, I was watching Dash demonstrate this to somebody, how incredible this translation thing is. And he spoke Afrikaans. And I don't know how this thing could understand what Dash was saying, but it translated it back to English. So it must be bloody good, hey? I don't know if you heard Dash speak Afrikaans. Not very good, Dash.
Well, the app is, I
But
would
the app
say,
knew what you were saying.
Not his mother tongue.
Rather don't, Dash. But it was that incredible. So I think, you know, you're underplaying it, but overplaying it. It is an incredible device. And then that app, Chris, as you say, I mean, I don't know how you can leave it out the discussion, because it just makes a difference from a hearing aid test, check what you are. It's just incredible.
I apologize if I'm underselling it, but you just mentioned it at the moment. By the way, the headphones have got a hearing test. You can do your very own hearing test and check your hearing and have it downloaded and so on and so on. There's just such a multitude of features. And that's why we've chosen to align with this brand and with this headphone. It's just so far above anything else. But my main why, as I explained earlier, is we want to address that global hearing problem. We want as many people in Africa to save their hearing as we can, and especially our children.
All right. So we sort of got to wrap it up. I've got one more, so almost like a medical question that has come up twice now. Vertigo, I mean. Conductions, headphone, how does that affect it if you're a little bit wonky? Doc, that's for you.
Sorry, I'm not fully understanding.
Vertigo, you know, when you're a little bit unbalanced, would this affect you? Would it affect you if you got vertigo?
Well, it's well, if your vertigo is, you know, controlled with medication, it shouldn't really, because vertigo is anyone can be affected by vertigo. It's basically motion sickness in layman's terms. You get a sense of dizziness because of a lack of equilibrium between the two sides. But if a patient is suffering from chronic vertigo on treatment, the bone conduction headphones shouldn't really aggravate that at all. Yeah, so because that person is no more at risk than a person with non-vertigo to develop that type of symptoms.
If I can just add on that, there was one article that I'd seen online where one guy suggested that it may have issues with regard to vertigo, but he very quickly qualified it in his article to say it's going to be like 0.0001% of all users. And I mean, if you look at any medication or any device used out there, 0.0001 is a very good sample of having an issue with it, you know. So yeah, that's a fair comment on the vertigo. Thanks for the question, guys.
Okay, well, I think we basically can wrap things up, Dash. I think what I'd like to do is another stage, do a discussion around using this as a hearing aid, as opposed to, because what I'm using it for, what Chris is using it for, is not for a hearing aid. There's nothing wrong with my hearing. What this does, it aids me in every way to do everything that I want to do, from the Zoom call to the telephone, to listening to the music, to exercising, to running, to absolutely everything that I do. I'm the best multitasker ever since I've had these things. So that's what this was about. So the next one, let's concentrate on where this can help on that hearing aid device that you were speaking about. I don't want to go into now because it's a totally different discussion.
Can I plant a seed?
Does what we do.
Am I allowed to plant a seed, Grant? Am I allowed to plant a little seed?
I'll water it.
Very, very excitedly, guys, there's amazing technology coming up using bone conduction technology for a hearing aid. And we are launching that in Africa also. It's coming soon. So I look forward to speaking to everyone about that in a little while when Grant kindly hosts another one of these awesome sessions.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just doing a random spin on my phone just to see who's our lucky winner tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
hold on a second.
There we go. Somebody's going to win a set.
Presh Naidu. Okay, Presh, we'll have to get your details. I've got them because you registered online, and good luck to you. So well done. Thank you very, very much.
Congratulations, Presh. Yeah.
Doc and Chris, incredible having you on. I know we're all agreeing with each other, which is crazy. but I mean, the device is just that good. So Dash, thanks for introducing us to the product and introducing it to me and to my family. They love me for it. They love you for it. And from everybody at home, this is Grant Adlam from KZN Business, Top Business, saying good night. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for the evening.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dash.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Yes, guys.
Cheers.